This is two examples from classwork 19. Again, I am recording, so you can come back, watch this later on Canvas at your own pace if you like. So the first problem I'm going to do is number 1, and then I'll do one that is not already solved for y, or any other variable for that matter. So in number 1, what I have here is, something a little bit easier than the example I just did in the notes. If you want to look at that example, you can definitely look at that. We took a long time on that, explaining that. But in this one, the first step that I had you do in the notes, which is solve one equation for x or y to get x equals or y equals, is already done because we have y equals already. So we only have to take that value here and plug that into here. And I would ask you 3 times again, what does y equal? And you would say 4x minus 6. What does y equal? 4x minus 6. What does y equal? 4x minus 6. Well, if y equals 4x minus 6, then that means wherever I see that y in the second equation, I can put a 4x minus 6. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to create one equation with one variable so I can now solve for it. Okay? So here we go. I'm going to rewrite the second equation, but I'm going to plug in the 4x minus 6 for the y. So there's the y. It goes right in there, right? It goes right there, and that equals 2 there, okay? But in this equation right here, I'm going to take that 4x minus 6 right here, that value, and I'm going to plug it in right there for the y. 4x minus 6. So now what I'm going to do is solve this equation. I need to distribute the 4 to the 4x and to the negative 6. So now I have negative 3x plus 16x minus 24x, sorry, not x, minus 24 equals 2. I simplify this side. I have 16x minus 3x, that's 13x, minus 24 equals 2. Then I add 24 to both sides to isolate the variable, or begin to anyway. Then I get 13x equals 26, which is 24 plus 2. To find x at the end there, I divide both sides by the coefficient of 13, and I get x equals 2, because 26 divided by 13 is 2. So now I've found one of the variables. What I'm going to do, and pause this at any time you need to, what I'm going to do now is take that x and plug it back into the simpler of the two equations. Why simpler? Because I don't want to do more work than I have to. So the simpler one would be the first one. I need to find y. I have found x. I have found x. So now I need to find y. It's a lot easier to find y by plugging x into this first equation. So that's where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to draw my arrow. I'm going to draw it all the way up here, and then I'm going to draw it to that x because that's where it's going to go. Okay, so I wrote the 4 times something minus 6. Well, instead of putting x there, I'm going to put 2. So now I can easily find y. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 6 is 2. So now I've found both answers here, and I will write my, well, both x and y, and I will write my solution as an ordered pair with x first, then y. And both of them happen to be 2. So my answer is 2, 2. And I will highlight that so it's clear exactly what the answer is. At this point, I wanted to go to one where you had to solve for one of the variables to start. Okay, and which one I'm going to pick. I'm going to go to number 20, okay? Number 20. So here it is. Well, I'm going to have to pick the equation that's a little bit easier to solve for the variable. And you need to look at these real quick, okay? Which one is easier to solve for a variable? Probably the second one. Why? Because there's no number in front of the y. You can easily solve for y just by moving over the 2x. So you move over the 2x by subtracting it off on both sides. And now you easily have your y. So this is the one step that we did not do in the number 1, okay? We needed to solve for y. We needed to get this. In number 1, y was already given to us like that. But in this one, it was not. So we had to solve for that. So we're going to take this and use it and plug it into this first equation here. Where do we plug in this negative 2x minus 6? Right there, into the y. Okay? Into the y. Not into the 5, into the y. Because that's what y is. So, I have my problem, my equation set up, and I take this negative 2x minus 6 and I plug it right in there, because that is what y is, you see. Negative 2x minus 6 in there. So now we have to distribute. We have to distribute negative 5 to the negative 2x into the negative 6. So I'm going to go negative 8x, and that's going to be plus 10x plus 5 times 6 is equals 20. And then I've got to simplify this. I got negative 8x plus 10x. That's going to be subtracting, so then that's going to be a positive 2x plus 30. And I encourage you to pause this and try and finish it on your own if you're watching this video. Minus 30 on both sides. And then 2x equals, so 20 minus 30, that's going to be a negative 10. And then finally solving for x, we divide both sides by 2, and then x equals negative 5. So once we find our x, we are not done. We need to plug this back into the simpler equation. Now what's cool is I've already found this. I've solved for y in this one. So I've changed the second equation from this to look like this. So we can actually use this, because this is a true statement. We can use that. So why don't we use this, and that'll be easier for us. So we'll take negative 5, plug it in right there for x, and we'll be able to find y. So y equals negative 2 times that negative 5. Oh, this should be black there. Minus 6. Negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. Minus 6 is 4. So that right there is our y. So y equals 4, x equals negative 5. So our answer for this problem will be, in our ordered pair, negative 5, comma 4, because x then y. So it's clear what our answer is. Can't see. Find the sharp edge there.